Hello and welcome to the Machona podcast. It has been quite a while. I hope everybody is doing great. I am very fine. So, with all the stories that we have to talk about, today we are looking at negative personalities in relationships. Now, before we get into it, I first of all would like to mention that negative personalities in any form of relationships are bad and should be avoided at all costs. And this is because they not only affect you as the main person, but they also affect your partners as well, whether it be in families, in business, relationships, or like I said, in any setup. If you've got someone who's always negative or someone who's always exhibiting negative energy, that is definitely going to affect the whole mood of that particular relationship. Now, when we talk about dynamics of any relationship, there's always supposed to be a balance of positive and negative personalities. And when two people are in a relationship, each of them brings, their own unique outlooks and behaviors to the table. Now, unfortunately, a negative personality trait in a person can have, an impact on the relationship as a whole, and it's important to be aware of the impact that these personalities can bring to your relationship or to the relationships of people around you as well. So, negative personalities, can vary. And I believe that when you get into a relationship with a person so that you can find some sort of happiness and that you can spend the rest of your life with that particular person. Now, if you are in a relationship for different reasons, then that's on you. I'm not here to judge. If you are looking for somebody that you want to spend the rest of your life with, or somebody that you want to find some sort of happiness with, then you really need to first of all work on yourself, make yourself a better person before you can try to connect with someone, because you don't want to be the person that brings the relationship down. That's how I feel. So now let's talk about these negative personalities. What are they? What is considered a negative personality? Now, some of these things, they include, pessimism, sarcasm, aggression, and manipulation. Now, pessimism, this is when someone tends to, focus on negative aspects of any situation. You are bringing up a conversation with your partner and all they focus on is the negative side of things. At the beginning, you think, okay, this is something that we need to talk about. But when it becomes, the norm, whenever you bring up something, then you want to get, an opinion from your partner, and all they bring about first is the negative side of things. That becomes a turn off in most cases, because if you want to find a solution to an issue, you don't want to hear somebody being negative. You want to hear some positivity in trying to find a solution to whatever it is that has been brought to the table. When you are in a relationship, you try to be positive, you try to find solutions, because you're supposed to be working as a team. So if you are a team member, then you are committed to bringing solutions to the team, and that is where this is important. So you need to check yourself and see what kind of energy you're bringing to the table. Now, the next one is sarcasm. Now, sarcasm is I think it's that has its pros and cons. When you have a partner who doesn't appreciate it, I know a lot of people don't appreciate sarcasm. You need to watch your audience as well, for lack of a better term, but you need to watch your partner and see if it's not something that they appreciate, then you are going to offend them if you do that, because usually sarcasm is when you try to sort of like make light of a situation in a quote-unquote witty way, if you may call it that. But a lot of people don't appreciate it because it sort of like belittles what they are feeling or their opinion, and they might not take kindly to it. So you need to watch your partner, and you need to make sure that this kind of humor is not something that is going to make them feel disrespected or hurt. The next thing is aggression. Now, aggression is a no-no, especially in the current society or current generation. It's definitely a no-no. I personally do not condone any sort of aggressive behavior towards your partner. So this should at all costs, be avoided. Learn to control yourself. I know some people have, short tempers or anger issues, but learn to manage yourself. Like I said at the beginning, learn to make yourself better so that the other person doesn't have to deal with whatever demons you are struggling with. So if you feel you are not able to control your anger, you're not able to control your emotions, then maybe a relationship is not good for you at that particular point in time. So you need to work on yourself so that you can then be able to blend in with the other person. Manipulation is also one of the no-nos in a relationship. That's a negative personality as well, because manipulation in itself is when you do things to mask the true meaning of what you want to do, or mask the true nature of what you are planning to do. Now, if you are in a relationship with someone, why do you need to do that? The moment you try to do something and then you feel the need to hide it from your partner, that is already a problem. And so it's definitely something that once your partner finds out, they're not going to be happy about. So we need to learn to be truthful when we are trying to get something done or get our partners to do something. Now, so these traits, and these are just some of them. There are quite a number of them. You can do some research on those, but any kind of negative personality can have a profound effect on a relationship. And if gone unchecked, it creates a toxic environment where your partner doesn't want to talk to you anymore, or the partner doesn't know how to relate with you anymore because they have to constantly be on eggshells. They don't know how you're going to react to a particular situation. So it creates feelings of resentment or mistrust, and sometimes it even goes to feeling emotionally abused or even physically, and that's not a good thing. That's not any reason why people go into relationships. You're supposed to go into a relationship to feel safe. You're supposed to go into a relationship to find happiness. You're supposed to go into a relationship to find a partner that you're going to team up with moving forward in life. So we need to make sure that all these things are addressed before we even go into that particular relationship. Now, sometimes you go into a relationship and you have a way of handling life, but you need to find compromises, because the person that you're dealing with also has their own way of doing things, and that's where you need to sit down and then understand who they are, and also show them who you are, so that together you can see how to relate and how to find common ground with whatever actions that you take to sort out situations in your relationship. Make a healthy relationship. Address negative personalities as soon as possible. And if you do realize, or recognize any traits in yourself, please work on them so that you make yourself better. And if you do recognize something, or you see something in your partner as well, point it out. And once it has been pointed out by your partner, that there is a certain trait that they are not comfortable with in you, do not feel attacked, because once you feel attacked, you start trying to defend yourself. Rather look at it as a point of learning. You look at yourself after those comments from your partner, and then you see how you can make things better, because the next time you're going to talk to them, you are going to put their feelings into consideration first, and over time you learn to control yourself in that particular aspect. The point of any relationship is to work together, and so that should be the first priority of any relationship, for that matter. Now, how do you resolve negative personalities in relationships? First is to talk it out. It can be difficult at first, opening up to someone, especially when you've noticed something negative about them. It can be because you don't know how they're going to react, but you need to create an environment where your partner is free to point things out to you, and you're also able to point things out to them in a non-confrontational way. That's very important, because you don't want to bring these things up when you're having an argument. That's when you start pointing out negative things. That they're going to feel attacked, obviously, and they'll feel the need to defend themselves. So you need to avoid that, and do it when you are in a calm manner, and so that you can have objective conversations about these things. The second one is set boundaries. Now, setting boundaries is essential as well, because you need to both agree on what behavior is acceptable and what isn't. And once you've both agreed on to that, if somebody crosses the line, they know they've crossed the line, so it's much easier to address, because it's out of bounds for that particular relationship that you've set for yourselves. Now, when it becomes unmanageable, like you feel it's not something that you can resolve, you are free to seek help, like counseling, especially for those who are into the relationships deep, where you don't want to let go of the relationship. If you are able to find someone who's a trained therapist and can help you, by all means, go ahead. It's really helpful, where you both find a neutral individual who can listen to your sides of the story or your sides of the issues, and then try to find a way of helping you. As they say, when you are in a relationship, you are conflicted. You don't really see all the ins and outs, but if you involve a different set of eyes, then they will be able to see some points where you may have missed it, and be able to assist you in that manner. The other one is make time for yourself. You can't fix a negative personality on your own. So make sure you're taking time for yourself, because it can be draining when you constantly have to, deal with negativity. It can be draining. So you need to preserve yourself. Self-care first. You can't care for someone if you are a rake yourself. So look after yourself before you can try to look after the other person. That makes things better for the both of you in the long run. Now, practice compassion. This also is a problem, I believe, in modern relationships, because we usually go in there to be cared for. Into relationships, we go in there to be cared for, and we forget that it is our duty to care for the other person as well. So you don't want to be the only person that's getting all the attention or all the care from your partner. You need to reciprocate as well. You need to show what you can do for them as well. You bring two plates to the table. Let's see what your plate is bringing to the table, in as much as you're eating off of theirs. And that's very important. You need to focus on the positive. You can't solve a situation with negativity. You need to focus on the positive. You need to find solutions on how to move forward. Problems are going to be there. Disagreements are going to be there. But how do you resolve these conflicts? That is now where you need to be positive, and you need to work together to find solutions to these issues that you come across. you need to remain patient as well. A person who has maybe been on this earth for at least maybe 20 years is not going to change in a day. So you need to be patient. You need to give them time. You point out what it is that you're not comfortable with. You need to work with them. Everybody, I believe, nowadays is a work in progress. Whether that progress is moving forward or going backwards, I don't know, but everybody seems to be a work in progress because we are a damaged generation for obvious reasons. We don't have to get into that. We need to be patient with each other, and we need to show compassion as well as we are going through these things, because tomorrow it will be you. Tomorrow it will be an issue with you that needs to be sorted. So you need to be there for your partner and see them through whatever it is that they are going through or something that they're trying to work on. Stay true to yourself. It is important to remember to stay true to yourself and your values. Don't allow yourself to be taken advantage of or manipulated by a negative personality. This is also very important. In as much as we preach, compromise, you need to retain your individuality as well. You both have grown up obviously in different homes, and you have different values and different outlooks on life. So when you come together, you don't just change whole outlook on life or your whole persona and be like the other person. No, you need to return your originality or your own person in the end, because if you don't do that, then you'll be feeling like a whole different person, and you end up feeling trapped in the relationship. So give your partner some breathing space. Let them breathe. Let them be the person that they were before you found them a little bit. Of course, their main goal is to be with you and to be happy with you, but give them some chance to breathe as well. Yeah, so these are the things that I thought I should talk about. And if you have any thoughts or any comments at all, I would be very happy to hear them. Now, the podcast is on YouTube. It's on other streaming platforms as well. And if you want to give me some comments, then please go ahead, by all means. I'm trying to bring back my website as well. So it should be up probably in a few days' time, the Machona Podcast. So machonapodcast.com. You should be able to find all the episodes from there, and should be able to play them from there as well. If not, then wherever it is that you check, you'll be able to stream the podcast. So have fun, be safe, and love yourselves first before you can love others. That's the motto.